Hello, I've just started my lunch. It's bangers and mash today, one of my favorites. And I've come to realize what a great time lunchtime is to think about things, to have some thoughts. But usually these thoughts just go to waste. So now I've decided to record some of them. But here the trouble already starts. What to think about. It's quite messy out there, lots of topics to choose from. But there's probably one thing that we can all agree on, and that is that now that Brexit got done, we want to talk about something else. Let's move on. And yet, I think there is still a future for unions, maybe just on a smaller scale. I'm thinking about Britain and Germany, for example. And why am I thinking about this right now? Well, I've just had a good look at my sausage, and I thought to myself, if there is one thing that the British and the Germans have in common, then surely that's the sausage. We like it. And I don't mean this sausage in particular. I mean the idea of the sausage and what it stands for. Let me explain. The sausage has two ends connected by a middle. And I think that could be an inspiration for our two countries, if not all countries. And I'm not the first person to say something clever about the sausage. Otto von Bismarck asked the question, what does the sausage have in common with the law? You don't want to be there when it's made. However, sausages and the law have to be made by someone, somehow. So the much more pressing question is, how do we want them to be made? And I don't have much to say about the sausage in this regard. As long as it's tasty and from happy pigs or even vegetarian like this one, I don't care. But I do have a novel suggestion about the law and how government should work. I would like to propose a leader exchange program. So this has worked in football. The English team had a Swedish coach, an Italian coach even. And when I say it worked in football, I mean it's been tried in football. If Jürgen Klopp can coach Liverpool, then why can't Angela Merkel manage Westminster? Jürgen Klopp is not from Liverpool. And Berlin could definitely do with some British humor right now. So send Boris into the Reichstag and let him cheer them up. And just imagine Churchill and Hitler, if they had organized some sleepovers together. Have a laugh, not a war. There would be much more time on British Sunday afternoon television for cooking shows now. And since we are talking about history right now, the royal family, the British royal family, of course. Now they have German blood. And not on their hands, but in their veins. So we could basically run this as a family business. And why did Queen Victoria start calling the Germans Huns? I think that was short for honey. Now, even if you don't agree with my historical viewpoints, there are still lots of things that connect the British and the German people today. The British, for example, like their principles, such as fairness or being a good loser. And the Germans love their rules, like waiting at a red light in the middle of the night, or scoring more goals than the others. I actually think good principles are better than stupid rules. So here we can definitely learn something from each other. The English language, basically simplified German. simplified by all these immigrants who came to the island over the centuries and had to figure out how to talk to each other. And they did, until the French came and complicated things again. But we still like them, don't we? I, for my part, am happy it was the British who ruled the world at some point, and not the Germans. Just imagine all those hours of homework wasted on der, die, das, complicated verb structures, completely unnecessary. English was definitely the most economical option. And even despite these compelling arguments, I actually have my doubts that this is going to work in practice. Even if our leaders do the right thing, ultimately the British and the German people will have to get to know each other better. But we don't really like to visit each other's countries, do we? We prefer poor countries for our holidays. Maybe we are actually too similar to each other to make this work. So here's something to think about. But now I've got to heat up my sausage again.